Good morning. How was your weekend? Welcome to Monday Messages with Kelly Mahoney. Um, so glad to see you. Did you have a good weekend? I can't believe it's the first day of June. How did that happen? We actually celebrated my son graduating seventh grade in the COVID era. Truth be known, he was done with seventh grade pretty much in May, but they still kept going to school. So it's all good. And so we got to celebrate. It was just another excuse for me to have my husband make risotto, which I love. It's like, oh, we got to celebrate Liam's graduation from seventh grade. I think you need to make some risotto. My favorite dish. So that worked out. But I wanted to talk to you about something interesting today that I found that I want to share with you. So I am doing some marketing research, and I was looking under self-help because obviously that's my zone that I feel comfortable in. God knows I've read plenty of self-help books. If there was a degree in self-help via books, I would be a doctorate right now, doctor of self-help. So I'm putting together my speaking career right now, and we're working on the self-help part of this because I want to help in the mental health industry, especially with the stuff we have going on. So I'm going to be focusing on like recovery tools that I've gained through my years of self-help to share with people. So in the midst of doing my research for how to best explore this field, under Google, if you go to Google and you do a search, it will pop up the most searched items based on that word. It tries to figure out what you're going to write because they get so many searches like, oh, they're looking for this. So I started to type in self, thinking that self-help would be at the top of the list. So I plugged in self, and you know what popped up? Self-doubt. Self-doubt. And not only that, it wasn't just on the top. There were like all different forms of like self-doubt in the search field. And self-help was like way down towards the bottom. And I'm like, what in the world? So I did a little research even further. They have a thing called AdWords where you can do a search and see how many times people searched per month for that word. So the word self-doubt was somewhere, I think, between like 100,000 and a million searches a month by people. What does this say? It says that people are feeling really insecure right now. Everybody is. And I think, who can blame them with everything going on, right? We have all kinds of unemployment going on, your job's on the line, your business might be in turmoil, and there's that self-doubt that's creeping in. Am I good enough? Do I deserve to do this? Can I do this? Am I able to do this? People are going to find out that I'm not who I say I am. So what I wanted to say is I did I have some definite expertise in this because I suffer from self-doubt too. And what I learned was 70% of the people suffer from something called the imposter syndrome. Isn't that interesting? Do a little search on it. The imposter syndrome, where they feel like they're not qualified to be doing the job that they're doing, or maybe not doing, maybe the job that they want, that they think they're want to go after. Interesting. So self-doubt and the imposter syndrome. And my experience for that is, it's just not real. I mean, think about, there's so many people that have had this. In fact, one of my favorite self-help people, Melody Beattie, she wrote Codependent No More and The Language of Letting Go, which is one of my go-to daily meditation books. But she's brilliant, and she's helped me out so much in my recovery process, in my life's journey. And she said she herself wrote her first two chapters of her book and thought, this is crap. And she was about ready to throw in the towel and just toss it away. And her friend had to step in and say, no, what you got's good. Just keep going and see what happens. And it became a New York Times bestseller and helped millions of people. And that's something. Michelangelo, when he got done with his Sistine Chapel, said, oh, look at that. This is crap. He didn't say those words. I'm sure he said something in Italian somewhat, but, it's a crapo. I don't know. But it obviously was not. It's a masterpiece. And even Abraham Lincoln, when he got done with delivering the Gettysburg Address, and don't quote me by the exact words that he said, but he had gotten done with his speech, and the audience was just so mesmerized, and they didn't realize that the speech was over, so it was completely silent when he was done. So he thought they hated it. And he said, his remarks after his speech were, well, that went over like a lead balloon or something like that. But he remarked that he didn't think that speech was very successful. And it's one of the most famous speeches ever delivered. So this self-doubt and this imposter syndrome, everybody has it. Everybody has it. So now how do you deal with it? And that's what I'm looking at. I'm discovering, if you really write about it and take it in and look at the facts, what is there to it? So here's my example this week. I actually got booked for a speaking gig in the Global Summit of Tourism for resort managers, something like that. And it was my virtual speaking gig that I picked up, and I was like, oh, and it was something that I have a passion for. Obviously, I come from the world of tourism. It was my whole life. So I wrote this presentation and shared it. After it was over, it's hard to tell on Zoom really what the reaction is, but I just kind of felt in my mind, like in Abraham Lincoln's words, wow, that went over like a lead balloon, when it wasn't necessarily the case, just how I felt. So I went and I did like a debrief, and I wrote about it and figured out, okay, what could I have done better? Where did I fall short? And in my mind, I had already kind of resolved it and said, okay, I took a look at it. Here's what I'm going to do different next time and move on. Well, the very next day, I get this wonderful message from the person who put the summit together, and they were singing my praises, telling me what a wonderful job I did, and ended by saying that he felt that my presentation, him and his assistant felt that my presentation was one of the best, if not the best presentation they had. And I'm not saying this to sing my praises. I'm saying this to show that, well, maybe I am singing my praises a little bit, but I am showing the bigger point I want to make here is I had written myself off as a failure. I was like, well, that sucked. Because that was the stupid voice in the head telling me, yeah, that sucked. You suck. And you'll never be able to do this. Boom. The reality of it was totally different. Totally different. They enjoyed my speech. They liked what I had to say. And he's even going to give me a referral. So, don't listen to that voice. Don't listen to that talking. My friend Cassie told me a long time ago, when you hear that voice sitting there, cutting you down, telling you you're not worth it, you can't do this, you'll never be anything, you look at that voice, you say, thanks for sharing, goodbye. And that's it. Thanks for sharing, goodbye. Goodbye, self-doubt. Because I know today, you know what? I believe in me. I believe in what I can do. And I believe in you, and I believe in what you can do. So don't let that voice get to you. Don't let that self-doubt creep in. It's there in 70% of the people, we all have it. We just can't listen to that negative voice. We change it with a positive voice. And this is me, who has a doctorate in self-help books. My own self-help knowledge. So I hope this helps you out. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next Monday. All right. Bye, everybody.